seemed like a decent run, though. Why don't you tell us about your run and what you're going to change for tonight?
Sure, Michelle. We came here with the intention to put a test run on the car this afternoon. Over the winter, we put a new clutch package in the car, and we're kind of thinking it was going to be a little too aggressive, so we backed it down. When you back the clutch down, unfortunately, cylinders go out. So we kind of learned a lesson there, and we're just tweaking it for tonight. We had to get a baseline on this new clutch, and I think we figured it out.
You found out real quick that that wasn't the right spot for it.
Well, actually, we kind of thought it was going to do that. We talked about it, and we said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some weight off the clutch and just get the car to go down the track. It's actually my first pass of the year. We got rained out here last month and didn't get to make a pass. So, you know, you come into these things a little nervous, and we just want to make sure we go down the track and get some information.
I don't blame you there. Now, your car is a nostalgic front-end engine. Why don't you tell us what is the difference in your car and things that you have to do differently than the rear engine top fuel cars that most people run today?
Save money, first of all. When I was a kid growing up, Big Daddy Don Garles, he was the guy. I went to see him. We got to see him at Union Grove, Wisconsin when I was maybe that high. And the front engine thing just always kind of hit with me. I knew I couldn't afford it. I had to work my way up to it, and I actually ran some bracket cars for a while, and I went into a rear engine car for a while, and you get into the rear engine car and it's just kind of not the same. So it took us a while to get this car built, and there is nothing like sitting in front of that motor, behind that motor. I feel, honestly, the top fuel cars of today are kind of all the same, and there's really no excitement in my book. You got that thing in front of you, it's breathing fire down your neck, it gets your attention in a hurry.
It's a much different feel when you're sitting in the car. And what has changed in your car since the 70s? Like, what kind of parts? Is there things that you guys run different in the motor, on the mechanical end of that?
Sure. Basically, we're running all the old fuel guys' hand-me-down stuff from 15 years ago. We run a 500-inch Keith Black motor. It's the cast motor, which an HRA banned. Now they have to run the billet motor. So we pick up on all the cast stuff. We go to all the fuel teams and go, hey, you guys got this, you guys got that, and we go shopping. And that's how we can do this without spending a lot of money. So the block is one thing. Our car is a little different than the true nostalgia car. We're running a bigger tire. Again, we don't have to pay for tires. They basically throw them at us and say, here, get these out of here. So there's a lot of benefits to doing it the way we're doing it.
That's great. And who is your sponsor? Do you have sponsors that help you with this then, or how does that work?
We have several sponsors that help out with mostly labor, materials, and things like that. The big guy, of course, is Jack Mateer. He supplies us with all the Torco 70 weight to keep this thing going. We got Lenny Hughes, Magnetos. He does all my mag work. I wouldn't trust it to anybody else on the planet. Lenny's a great guy. We have First Aid Chemical Corporation. They supply us with all our brake clean and solvents and all that kind of stuff. And people pitch in when they can. I mean, we're kind of grassroots here. It's not a big deal. We don't get a ton of exposure, so it's hard to draw that big sponsor guy in. We're working on it.
I'm glad you have some sponsors. You're enough to get by and keep the nostalgia thing going. And like you said, have the motor in front of you instead of behind you. It's a totally different thing, and we're glad you can still do this. Thanks.
And just one thing, touching back on that, I get a lot of fans that come up and look at the car and look at me and go, why would you do this? And the short answer is, technology has made it safe for us to do it. It's not like the old days when the cars were blown up in half. There's a lot of safety on these cars. That's critical. Otherwise, I'm not stupid. I wouldn't be doing it. So that's what we do.
That is definitely a plus side, and things have definitely changed since then, but yet you're keeping some of the originality, and that's wonderful.
That's my true love.
Thank you for your time, and hopefully you'll have a great run tonight.
Good try. Thanks, Michelle.
And back to you in the box.